All right, so let's do a quick example here. So let's say you had a starting balance. Say you had $150, 150 tokens, however you want to look at it, but you got 150, right? You're gonna want to split that up. You don't want to go all in right off the bat. So let's just say for your first bid, you start out with something simple like, let's say 10. All right. So you got 10 here just up front. Now, you're going to want to kind of determine kind of based off of what happens and kind of go from there. So let's say you go ahead, you submit it, you do your first bid, and you get a result. First result, boom, you win 10. Thing's going to say you won 20, but essentially you won 10 because you lose your first 10, and that's the result. So let's do your second bid. Let's go ahead and just do another 10. And this time, let's say it doesn't go in your favor. Let's say you actually lose 10. All right, so you don't get anything. So now you're kind of even. On your third bid, now, since you're already down 10, you basically want to double it as part of the martingale strategy. You double it, right? So let's say you double it. Boom, calculates, you lose again. Now you're down 20. You're also down 10 from the bid before, so you're down 30 total. But guess what? You're going to double again. So in your fourth bid, boom, going to do 40. But this time, let's say you actually do win. So you, boom, you get it 40. Well, guess what? You just won 40, but you're already down 30. So now you basically won 10. That's a lot of steps just to win 10. But if you think about it mathematically, how many times in a row could you still lose? Well, mathematically, you could lose a million out of a million times. I mean, that's really how it goes. But in something like roulette, where you can literally say red or black, how many times in a row is it really going to go against you? So if every single time you just bid red, 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 eventually chances are you will hit. So if you continue the same type of strategy, you should be able to not only break even, but actually get ahead. Now you may be wondering, under the martingale, what do you do now? Well, since you're back to positive and you've essentially broken even, and actually you're beyond that, you've made a profit of 10. Well, if you want to keep going, then you go ahead and start over. You just bid 10 again. There's no real reason to keep bidding 20, 30, 40 because you're exaggerating things. Now, if you instead are going to say, okay, I'm going to bid 20, let's say, then you're going to have to go ahead and be prepared to bid 40, 80, 160 and keep going at a much higher rate. It's much higher reward when you do that, but you're also risking a lot more money. And like I said, you could literally get an unfavorable match over and over and over again and eventually run out of money. All right, now let's get to a real live example using the Thor Bet Swirl suite. I want to give a special shout out to a Patrick A. They comment on all my videos, or just about all of them, basically saying something about Thor, something about Thor's dying, Thor's lost people a lot of money, Thor's got to comply with the SEC. I mean, he's definitely on it. But, you know, when I thought about making this video, I thought of him and I said, let me put this out. This is one way people can make a little money with Thor. This isn't going to be game changing. It's not going to make anybody a millionaire, but it is one way you can use the tokens that you are getting to actually make some money. I kind of think of it similar to when you get dividends on your stocks, or even when you do options trading. Maybe it's closer to options trading, where you're leveraging it. You know, you're not doing a guaranteed thing. It's not guaranteed that if you just let this compound for 6 years, you'll have XYZ money, but it is a way to make some more money. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to app.thor.io. Look at the Thor price. We're up to 23 cents. We've been sitting at about 22 cents for a while, so I guess a little bit of positive price action there. See, I got about 700 Thor currently. Now you want to go over here to bet. That's the bet suite. Go ahead, click on that. You may have to connect your wallet if it's the first time, but on the left here, you want to go over to roulette for this particular example. So now let's pause here for a second. Now you can see basically the basic layout of the board. You got a green 0. That's the highest payout possible. But you really have like a 1 out of, I think there's like 50 something spaces on here. chance of getting that. It's basically the worst one, highest payout. I basically would recommend to never do it. If you want to do red or black, as you can see, it's basically split down 50-50. Now you also can do 1 out of 12. You can do 13 out of 24, 25 out of 36. You can do 2 for 1, 2 for 1 on the sides. You can do 1 to 18. You can do odd and even, or you could do black or red. Now I will say for my particular strategy, I've just basically stuck to red. You could do even and odd and basically have the exact same odds as to what I'm doing because of the way it's split down the middle. It's not quite a 50-50% chance that if you do red or black that you'll hit in that way because of the green. That green option basically lowers your chances of it being 50-50 a little bit beyond that. But this is kind of the basic layout of the board. So if you go down here and kind of do the strategy we talked about, go ahead, bet 10. Obviously I have more than 150 as I showed. I've got about 700. Make sure you have gas. You know, if you run out of gas, you're gonna have a problem right off the bat. But go ahead, you bet 10. You got to pick what you want to do. In my case, I do red. No real reason. I just like red. And I know that's going to give me the 50% chance of winning. So we're going to go ahead, hit spin. It's going to calculate. So it'll pop up here, ask me about the gas. Now, I think there might be a small bug that happens when the gas is too low, but if you scroll down a little bit, you can see basically the result of your bid. In my case, there's a bet on, boom. The undefined logo, I believe, is the animation trying to run, but from what I can tell, if your gas is kind of low like me, it doesn't go. So let's hit it again. Let's give it a second to process. Bidding another 10. And let's see what happens here. Try to give it a minute. Accept the charge, the gas. All right, scroll down here again. You can see it's pending still. And boom, busted. All right, so that means we lost 10, right? It's good to keep track of this so you don't get too crazy. All right, so as per the steps, you got to double now. Go up to 20, martingale, hobo style. All right, so now we got 20 pending. Let's see if it might actually end up matching my little Excel example from before. It's not the quickest thing. It would be faster if I had the gas turned up, but I got it kind of low, so I'm not just like eating gas on every single thing. Boom, busted again, right? So we lost 10, we lost 20, so we're down 30 right now. But you know what that means? We were betting 20, now we gotta bump it up again. Now we're betting 40. So getting a little bit more. If you imagine this was $40, now it's like, oh man, if we lose this, now we're down 30 plus 40, that's 70. You know, but it's kind of part of the game. You know, it's like how many times in a row can it end up on black? As I said before, 1,000,000 out of 1,000,000. But that's not really realistic. That's some really bad luck, in fact. All right. See, I raised the gas a little bit. Actually, it was off screen, but now it's actually playing the animation. Boom, minus 40 Thor. We lost again. Can you believe that? So now, as I just said, we're down 70, 10, 20, 40. Just did another one, or about to do another one. All right, got to bump the 40 to 80. The max you can do for this, I show, is 84. Not really sure why, but we're going to go ahead and process this 80. See what happens. I didn't tell it to up the gas charge, so I probably won't play the animation on this one. We'll scroll down here. And let's see how this one played out. Yep. Okay. So just gave it to me. Boom. Bet 160. But remember, it's really only 80 is what we got, because you don't necessarily get back, or in a way, you get back what you put in. So I bid 80. Essentially, I got back the 80 I originally put in, and then I got an additional 80 as kind of part of the win. So when you think about it overall, we just went up and we just bid 80 to essentially get back 10. Because remember, we were down 70 and we just got back 80. So all of that just to get an additional 10. But at the end of the day, this is basically how you do this. Now, there's going to be times where you just win, like at the beginning of this video, I just won the original one for 10. It's just an additional 10. You know, it's kind of just something there. And I don't recommend you waste those, because there will be times. Because if you think about it, right, we would have had an issue if this turned out as another loss. We essentially would have needed to bid 160, double 80, 160 in order to continue martingale. But as I was just saying a couple minutes ago, the most it lets you bid is 84. So at that point, the martingale is kind of broke, because you literally can't do what you need to do to keep it going. Well, anyway, that pretty much concludes the video. My main goal ultimately with this is going to be to try to get about 1 AVAX a day, give or take the price of Thor, and AVAX is pretty low, so currently it's not an issue. And to try to stay around 800 Thor. I think you saw I'm at around 750 currently. So I'm going to try to do that, and then maybe I'll just post one of these a day. It'll just be kind of like the latest update on where we are, and see if I can actually get somewhere with this. Anyway, in case they didn't know, I's a hobo. Thanks for watching.
Even this lesser version of you. But I am not my sons. And your boy, Allfather, have plans for him. There he is. There's the god of war.